Musick, co-founder of the LifeWise Company. Have you ever thought, I'm not good enough? Maybe not good enough, not smart enough, not pretty enough, not good enough at something that you want to do? Well, we have all been there. And this week, we're talking about it because I want to help you transform from a feeling of inadequate to valuable, from too little to deserving. I'm about to give you the 3 keys to transformation. Self-confidence and self-esteem, that's how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your abilities. Those are the core of enough. When you start to tear yourself to shreds, try these transformational steps instead. So, what happens when you confess these feelings of inadequacy to someone close to you? Usually you get something back like, "Oh, honey, you are good enough." I mean, that's the response that you're most likely going to hear when you tell maybe your friend, your sister, or your colleague that you just don't think that you're good enough to maybe have something or to achieve something, right? Well, that's nice, right? They mean well, and there may be a moment where you stop crying or take a deep breath, and for approximately 5 seconds, you're gonna feel better. But then your inner voice is back saying, "I'm not good enough." That phrase from a well-meaning friend just didn't solve your self-doubt for more than a blip, right? Okay, we relentlessly compare ourselves to others. We keep a mental tally of all the times that we have messed up. And it seems that we are always on the hunt for evidence that we are not enough. We even negate compliments. We trash talk ourselves in our own heads and out loud. When someone says, "You look so pretty today," we often respond with something, "Oh, I'm having a terrible hair day." Or somebody says, "Wow, you are so organized," and you say, "Oh, not really. If you saw my house." Or, "You did a great job on that project." "Oh, it was nothing," right? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is learn to accept compliments. That is the first step towards feeling like you are enough. We're going to learn to accept compliments graciously. Simply respond with "thank you" and let that compliment sink in. Then take a moment, celebrate yourself. There's no need to qualify your thanks or to downplay your achievement. So when somebody says, "You look so pretty today," you transform your response to "thank you" and let that be enough. When you hear, "Oh, wow, you are so organized," "Thank you, I appreciate that." "You did a great job on that project." "Ah, thank you. I will pass along your kind words to the team." When you simply and humbly accept a compliment, you acknowledge the other person's appreciation and prolong the positive benefits of the praise. At first, it's going to feel a little awkward, and it's going to take some practice. But as you learn to accept others' compliments, you will reinforce your self-worth. You are enough. Make accepting compliments a habit. The thing that helped me the most when I was establishing this habit was to remind myself that I was actually arguing with a person who cared about me every single time I contradicted a compliment. I was actually telling them that I did not value their opinions and that their ideas were not valid. That's the last thing I want to do. I never want to insult someone who's complimenting me, right? So instead, I learned to find gratitude for those compliments. So the exercise of gratitude for the praise of others can fill that mental space that was taken up with self-deprecation. Then there's just simply no room left for you to tell yourself that you're not good enough. So the second thing that we need to do in order to feel like we are enough is to do a self-audit of our words. The words that we say matter, and phrases play like old recordings over and over in our brains. I'm not enough, right? Think about the things you say to yourself and write them down. Write down both the positive and the negative. An audit is an inspection or an examination. So to audit your self-talk, you're going to write down the good and the bad, and you're going to look at the things that you say to yourself, and you're going to ask yourself if those statements are accurate. Realize that just because you think something does not make it true. For example, I have struggled with the thought running through my head that I am just too much for people. I have thought that life would be better or easier if I could just be quieter, more demure, more meek. I have told myself that I just cannot have friends because I overwhelm everyone. I'm not reserved enough. That's what's in my head, right? But is that completely true? Of course not. What is true is that I have energy, and I have a lot of it. I love people and I thrive in crowds. I am the biggest cheerleader for others' success, and I get really excited over the smallest things. And that excitement truly lasts. The truth is, if you hang out with me over maybe a glass of wine or a cup of tea, I will probably talk a lot. I mean, let's be real. And I'll also listen and care deeply about what you say. I'll even check in with you to make sure you're okay. I will have a million ideas to share with you, and I will be just as thrilled to listen to your dreams as I was to tell you mine. What's the truth is that I have friends and I'm lively. Both things. What's the truth? The truth is that I was made this way, and that's not bad. And you were made to be the wonderful you that you are. So embrace it. You should never be your own private mean girl. Now, let's take a look at what you wrote down, right? And cross out all the stuff that is not true and write down the actual truth. So in my example, the false statement is that I cannot have friends because I overwhelm everyone. So we're gonna cross that out, right? The true statement is people love me because I have energy to spare. Write the true statement on your mirror and look at it every day. When you hear that inner voice playing that old recording, you hit that stop button and you play the new track instead, right? Okay, so my number 3 tip is to reintroduce yourself. Think about how you introduce yourself to others. Most of the time when we meet new people or we're in a new social situation, we introduce ourselves and we say something like, I am X job title at X company. Like, I'm a teacher at John Jacob Elementary. I mean, this is a natural and it's an expected response, right? It also cements the idea that you are synonymous with your job title. You are not merely your job. That is not enough. You are more. So here's what we're going to do. Think about what you do well. What makes you particularly suited for your position? For years, I said, I'm an attorney at my own firm. But when I thought about what I did every single day of my work life, I realized that I was working to solve a problem that I care about deeply. So I changed my introduction. As an attorney specializing in juvenile law, I work with children who have been abused and neglected to make sure that their voices are heard in court. That became my new introduction. So here's the formula. As a blank position who skill, I find solutions by activity. So you introduce yourself with skills and solutions. Taking this approach completely changes the way others interact with you. And it also changes the way you think about yourself. I used to have to deliberately stop myself from rolling my own eyes as I introduced myself. I used to say I was an attorney and immediately felt the need to diminish myself. Every single time I introduced myself, I told myself that I wasn't actually good enough to be an attorney. I thought of all the bad lawyer jokes I had ever heard when I was meeting a new person, right? Here's another example. For 40 years, my mother introduced herself as a nurse at whatever hospital where she was currently employed, right? Then, when cancer treatment forced her to retire early, she was lost trying to define herself. I'm a nurse was the definition of her. But now she says, as a nurse, I specialized in pediatrics, caring for children and their families through challenging times. Now, when she looked deeper into her role as a nurse, she saw that her worth was not tied to her title, but to her ability to care genuinely for the well-being of others. Caring for others' welfare was something that she could continue even after retirement. When you dig in and you describe the problems that you solve that you are uniquely suited to handle because of who you are, you become bulletproof. Remember, you can't hate yourself better. Telling yourself that you are not good enough is not going to make you better. Telling yourself that you will fail will not bring success. Telling yourself that no one could love you will not bring you relationships. The truth is that feeling that you are enough begins with you. When you love yourself, you know you are enough. Honor your strength and power. And remember, there is strength in community. A joyful tomorrow starts with a connected today. Hey friend, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, would you please hit that subscribe button? And also, post questions that you have down below. It's questions from you that inspire these episodes. We would love to hear what you think about it. Also, if you would like to join our Facebook community, you can interact with us and our community every day. Join us at Power Up by LifeWise on Facebook. We would love to give you some more time, some more one-on-one, and some more interaction to help you reach your next level of growth and joy. Until next time, hit that like button, but please subscribe so every time we post a new video, you get a notification. Share this video with anybody who could be inspired by it today. And thanks one more time for being part of our community.